Hello, everybody, and hello, Mr. Kusdianto. We are from Group 7. I want to present our material with the title Fabrication of Nanocomposite Material Using Ion Beams. And we are from Group 7. I want to introduce our group member. The first one is me, Brilliant Mikaholan Kendek. And I want to introduce to my friend Rafael Arthur Rusdi, Herlinda Geisha Popi Nurmala, and the last one is Dian Reni Munte. Maybe next. Okay, this is the content that we want to present on this material presentation. The first one is introduction, lithography and nanostructure, track membrane, ion beam modification of surface scarring, bulk materials, and the last one is conclusion. Okay, we move to the first one. For introduction, fabrication of nanocomposite materials using ion beams. In this introduction, we want to tell about the type of electron accelerator and engineering material method with the nanoparticles. There are three main materials in this introduction. Is the first one low energy ion beams and ion beams accelerator for lithography. The second one is high energy ion beam accelerator for implementation and for manufacturing ion track membrane. And the last is medium and high energy electron beam accelerator and X-ray system for surface carrying the bulk nanocomposite synthesis. Next. Okay, we move to lithography and nanostructure. Uh, for know deeply about ion beams, we have to know first about electron beams. So what is electron beams? Electron beams is a highly energy electron beam that can use to modify or create patterns on material surface. It is commonly used in lithography, which is a process of printing nanometric patterns on a material surface. And the video, maybe we can see a next slide later. But before that, we have to know how electron beams works. Electron with the energy of 10 until 50 keV are direct at material coat with a resist or a sensitive layer. There are two types of resist. The first one is positive resist. Its molecular structure breaks the exposed to electron, allowing the exposed area to be removed. And the second one is negative resist. It's molecule from stronger cross-link when the exposed electron, making it more resistant to removal. And the advantage for electron beams is highly resolution and precision. The last is can be used with tools like a modified scanning electron or SEM. And the benefit in the nanotechnology is electron beams enables the creation of nanostructure for various applications such as nanoscale electronics device, sensor, and materials with specialist properties. Next. Next. Okay. For the video, the first video is in this video explain about fabrication of nanocomposite using electron beams. Maybe the volume you can uh, speak up the volume, volume up. Okay, in this video is explain how electron beams use in in the application of electron beams use. Okay, okay. because we have now about the electron beams. Now we move to ion beams, the main material. What is ion beams? Ion beams is a stream of ions or created atoms used to modify material more as intensively than an electron beams. It is typically used to create nanostructure or modify materials at the atomic level. And how is ion beam works? The first one is ion surface. Ion are integrated from the specialist ion source, often using specific gases such as argon or helium. And direct for ion beams, ion are direct using electrostructure lens to form a focus beam. The material processing, the first one is ion strike the material surface, creating patterns or structural change. And the last is due to their greater mass compared to electron, the result are more sparse and stable. And the advance for ion beams is more high resolution, high precision, and modification strength. Have ion can penetrate deeper into the material, including significant structural change. And the benefit of in nanotechnology is creating nanostructure such as membranes, nanotubes, and thin film, and used to develop electronic device and material with unique mechanical, optical, or thermal properties. Next. Next. Maybe next. Okay, this is how ion beams work in application in aerosol technology. In this case, we use titanium. Okay, next. Okay, after learn about the electron beam and ion beam, we can conclude that the difference of electron beam and ion beam is used in many aspects. The first one is particle use. For the electron beam, it's use electron, but in ion beams, it use ion with positive or negative atom. The other aspect we can see at the energy and material particle in interaction with materials, resolution and precision, and the last one in application. For the ion beam, the application is for lithography, like the video before, and the ion beam used for implementation ion, make of nanostructure, and the last one is for membrane track nano. And you can see the picture for the membrane track nano in the slide. Okay, maybe that's from me. The presentation will be continued by my friend. Thank you.
Okay, now I'm Rafael Arto and we will talk about the track membranes. Okay, before we go on this topic, we should know what is ion track membrane is. But basically, the ion track membrane is such as a type of membrane that created by using some unique technique that is ionizing radiation. This method involves bombarding a polymer film with a high energy of ions. And how are ion track membranes made? First, there is any irradiation with high energy ion beam is directed at the polymer film for creating tracks of damaged material. And the second is using etching method. The damaged tracks are chemically etched to form pores with precise dimensions. And the last, by using customization, by controlling the ion energy, ions spacious and etching condition for making impact for the pore size, shape, and density to specific applications. And the application of this method is first we can use for filtration, for water purification, gas separation, and biofiltration. And the next we can find for chemical and biological sensor, and we can use for catalysis, and also we can use for template synthesis for creating another nanostructures. And next, we're gonna talk about ion beam modification of surfaces. Basically, this is the surfaces modification by using ion beam or by using low energy ion implementation or by using high energy ion beam modification. So, as what I said before, there is any two primary method of ion beam modification. First, for with low energy ion implementation, and the second with high energy ion beam modification. First, for low energy ion implementation, the process will use low energy ion, typically around 50 until 300 keV for this process. And this process will give an impact for material surface composition and structure, such as hardness, corrosion resistance, and electrical conductivity. And the application of low energy ion implementation is for improving the wear resistance of the tools, such as the corrosion resistance of metals and modifying the optical properties of materials. And the next is the second method is using high energy ion beam modification. From the name, we can know that this process will use the high energy ions, like around above using 100 MeV, mega EV, are used for create nanoscale modification on the surface. And the effect of this method will create some unique nanostructures such as ion tracks, which can be further modified to create functional materials. And uh, the application of this method, high energy beam modification, will for creating nanopores for filtration, fabricating nanowires, and developing advanced materials with tailored properties.
Okay, and then the next subtopic, we are going to talk about surface curing. And surface curing itself is creating or modifying surface structures at micro or nanoscale levels. And these modifications are often using like an advanced method such as radiation and chemical grafting. Move to the next slide. Okay, and there is the key goals or surface curing itself. There is 4 key goals. First is enhanced durability, and enhanced durability itself is the resistance to physical damage such as scratches that will increase in surface curing. And it is important if we would like to fabricate something like lenses, electronics, or maybe industrial tools coatings. And then the second is corrosion resistance. It will improve the resistance to chemical or environmental degradation for materials that use in harsh conditions, such as pipelines, marine structure, or maybe the reactors. And then the third is surface wettability. It modifies how liquids interact with the surface, like would it be hydrophobic to avoid the water, or maybe it creates hydrophilic surface to enhance the water absorption itself. The fourth is chemical activity, where it adds specific functionality such as catalyst or absorption activity that important for applications like sensors, energy devices, or advanced filtration system. Move to the next slide. Okay, the next we will talk about the step-by-step process in surface curing. The process itself begins with a polymer substrate, which can be a film, a fiber, particle or non-woven sheet. And then the polymer substrate is exposed to a radiation source such as gamma rays, electron beam, UV light, or plasma. And from this step, will generate the reactive radicals within the material. It's called an irradiate substrate. And then the monomers are introduced to irradiate substrate, and the active radicals on the surface initiate the grafting process where the monomers will chemically bond to the polymer surface and forming the side chains graft. And from this step, will create a grafted sample with a new surface properties such as improved adhesion or resistance to environmental factors. And then in the final step, the functionalizing agents are applied to the grafted sample to introduce specific functional groups that will give the material additional properties such as catalytic activity or maybe biocompatibility. Also, there is several factors that affect the grafted structure. The first is radiation dose, reaction time, reaction temperature, and monomer concentration, where if we enhance all of these factors would lead to a taller and a greater structure itself. Move to the next slide. Okay, next we have AFM, or atomic force microscopy scan of surface with nanopatterns. And from this scan, we could see the consistently spacing between the nanopatterns that indicates the effective radiation grafting and ensuring the uniform structure formation of nanoparticles. And then from this scan also, we could see that the smallest features here in the image are around maybe 100 nanometers compared to the spacing between the nanopatterns, which is consistent with the nanoscale precision that achievable by using ion beam techniques. And then the graphic below shows the variation of height profile that indicating the height can be precisely controlled due to the several factors that has been explained before. And there is the advantages. First is offers high precision of patterns. Lateral dimensions as small as 100 nanometers can be applied to different types of substrate. And then the last is the dimension of nanopatterns, like vertically or laterally, can be easily customized by adjusting the process parameters. And for application itself, the first is energy, such as solar panel. Second is catalyst. And then the last is scratch-resistant coatings for smartphone in electronics aspect.
Okay, for the next is about material. First, nanocomposite. What is nanocomposite? Nanocomposite is a composite material consisting of two or more pieces with one or more of the constituent pieces on the nanometer scale in a less one dimension. The addition of inorganic nanoparticles to polymers can enhance conductivity and mechanical thought for application as organic batteries, microelectronics, non-linear optics, and sensors. Two basic steps are needed to prepare the composite. Is one, metal ions are introduced into the polymer by copolymerization of an organic monomer, and the metal ion by an ion exchange process. Two, a Chevrolet source is introduced for the preparation of nanocrystalline chalcogenine. Two is about nanogel. Nanogel and microgel can be defined in two ways. One, a polymer gel is a two-component system consisting of a permanent three-dimensional network of linked polymer chain and molecule of a solvent filling the pores of this network. Nanogel and microgel are particles of polymer gel having dimension in the order of nano and micrometer respectively. Two is a nanogel or microgel is an internally cross-linked macromolecule where all chain segments are interconnected. It can be synthesized synthesized through intramolecular cross-link of linear macromolecule or via a single polymerization event that would otherwise form a linear polymer chain. Nanogel and microgel can be considered a specific form of macromolecule similar to other structures like linear bonds, comb-like, circular, star-shaped, and dendrimer macromolecules. Three typically resemble cold linear macromolecules, often described as frozen polymer cores. The last is nanocluster. Method to obtain nanocluster is that of ion implantation. There is a threshold implantation dose after which some of implant species will tend to spontaneously form nanocluster due to overdose implantation. Similarly, there is a threshold implantation dose for the implanted species in a layer of the host material, such that after high temperature annealing, the nanocluster can nucleate before the implant material can dissolve in the host material during such heat treatment or annealing process.
Okay, all our explanation before leads to a conclusion that is radiation methods based on ion and electron accelerators play an important role in nanomaterial fabrication. Electron beams ranging in energy from several kilo electron volt to mega electron volts that are being used in different technologies can be used in these innovative nanotechnology areas also. And ion beams can be used in the fabrication of nanostructures. Okay, maybe that's all from our presentation. We would like to say sorry for all of our mistakes. Thank you so much for the attention.